Hi everyone, welcome to NetGate Chemistry. So, in coordination chemistry, we are on the topic of isomerism, and we have studied the major classification of isomerism, that is the structural and stereoisomerism. Also, we have studied the various types of structural isomerisms like ionization, hydrate, linkage, coordination position, right? We have studied all these types of isomerisms which come under the category of structural isomerism. So right now we are going to study the second category of isomerism, that is the stereoisomerism. So in the classification itself, we have studied that it is of major two types, that is geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. Right, so these are the major two types of stereoisomerisms. So first we are going to study the stereoisomerism in case of coordination number 4 complexes. Okay, so basically first we are going to study the stereoisomerism in these complexes, coordination number 4 complexes. So we know the two general categories of coordination number 4 complexes, right? That is tetrahedral and square planar, right? These are the two categories of coordination number 4 complexes, right? These are the two categories. Now under these two categories, what we are going to do is, see, tetrahedral complexes will be having 4 ligands attached with the central metal, right? 4 ligands will be attached. Also in square planar, with the central metal, 4 ligands will be attached like this, right? Now these ligands can be unidentate or bidentate, right? So in tetrahedral also we are going to see the stereoisomerism in case of tetrahedral complexes when the ligands which are attached to the complex are unidentate ligands. Right, so we will study coordination number 4 complexes. First we'll study tetrahedral complexes, and in tetrahedral complexes, first the complexes in which the ligands attached are unidentate ligands, and then we'll study if the ligands attached are bidentate ligands. So what will be the types of stereoisomerisms that we will be studying? Okay, in square planar also we will be studying the stereoisomerism if the ligands attached are unidentate or bidentate. So basically this is the major portion which we are going to study in the stereoisomerism in coordination number 4 complexes. Okay, so now first what we are going to do is, we are going to study tetrahedral complexes and the ligands attached are unidentate ligand. This will be the first case which we are going to study, and we are going to study these type of complexes, tetrahedral having unidentate ligands, and we will study the geometrical as well as optical isomerism in them. Okay, so first we are going to study tetrahedral complexes. Having unidentate ligands and we have to study both geometrical as well as optical isomerism in these type of complexes, these first type of complexes. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, first we are going to study the geometrical isomerism. Now, if you look at the structure of tetrahedral complexes having unidentate ligands, then what you are going to observe, it will be like this. Metal will be here and 4 ligands will be attached like this. Right? These 4 ligands are at an angle of 109 degree 28 minutes. This will be the tetrahedral complex, right? And each of these ligands are unidentate ligands. Now, if I rotate it by 109 degree 28 minutes, then on rotation there is no change in the geometry, right? Here there will be no change in the bond angle, or you can say the geometry. So all the positions, all these 4 positions are equivalent here, right? All of these 4 positions are equivalent here. So if you are rotating it, what happens here? Here there will be no geometrical isomerism. Right, because here there is no change in bond angle. In order to have geometrical isomerism, there should be change in the bond angle, and here there is no change in the bond angle, right? Why there is no change? Because all the 4 positions are equivalent. So here there is no geometrical isomerism possible, right? Now one thing to note here is that there are 4 ligands here, and all of these 4 ligands are same, right? So now before moving further into different types of ligands, if different ligands are attached like ML3A, ML2AB, like this, if ligands are changed, then what will happen to the isomerism, the stereoisomerism? Before moving further, we have to study a little bit about the enantiomers, right? So now if I talk about the enantiomers, then these enantiomers are chiral molecules having mirror images of each other, which are non-superimposable. So basically, chiral molecules, hands are the best examples. So chiral molecules having mirror images of each other. If you look at our 2 hands, then what happens? One is the mirror image of the second one, right? And if we try to superimpose one on the other, then they will not superimpose each other. These 2 are mirror images of each other, but if I want to superimpose one over the other, then it is not going to superimpose, right? So this way you can explain the chiral molecules, right? So now this is the basically definition of enantiomers. So we have studied one complex, that is ML4 type of a complex. Here in this tetrahedral complex, all the 4 ligands are same. Now what happens if the ligands are, all the ligands are not same? Suppose we have the case of ML3A or ML2AB or ML2A2, right? And ML4 will also come under this category. In all of these complexes, all of these type of complexes, what happens here? If you are trying to find out the plane of symmetry is the plane. What happens here? If we draw a plane through the molecule, then first half will reflect the second half, right? So what happens here? If I take ML3A type of a molecule, and if I try to find out the plane of symmetry, how we are going to find out? I'll try to illustrate that right now, okay? So I'm trying to illustrate you this using a pen, using these pens. So what happens here now? Suppose I draw a plane from this one and this one. Okay, from these two. I draw a plane like this, right? Passing through this. Then what happens? This one will reflect this one, right? Plane is passing through these two. Through these two plane is passing like this. So what happens? This one will reflect this one. I hope this is clear. I try to illustrate here also. What happens? Here is the central metal. So these three are same. These three ligands attached are same, and the fourth one is different, like this. So what happens? I'm passing a plane through this, right? So this one will reflect this one, right? So here plane of symmetry is present. If in a compound plane of symmetry is present, then what happens? It cannot show the enantiomers, right? If plane of symmetry is present, then the compound is optically inactive, right? It will not have optical isomers, it will be optically inactive. If plane of symmetry is absent in a compound, it is going to show enantiomers, right? And the compound will be optically active. Okay, if plane of symmetry is absent, then compound will be optically active and will show enantiomers. Okay, so I hope this part is clear. Similarly, for the case C, in this case also we can pass a plane from here and here, right? So what happens? This part will reflect this one. Okay, here you can call this one as L dash, right? Because this one is different. So if I pass a plane through L dash and L, M, L dash and L, then this will reflect this one. Here also if I pass a plane like this, then this will reflect this one. So this one is also optically inactive because here plane of symmetry is present, right? So similarly in these two cases also plane of symmetry is present, right? How? That I'll show you now. So now if I talk about ML2AB, see this is M and here are two L ligands which are same. One ligand is A and other one is B. This one is B. So what you have to do is, see, same type of ligands are going to reflect each other. So the ligands which are same, you don't have to pass the plane through them. You have to pass the plane through different type of ligands. So you will pass a plane like this. Here I know you will not be able to analyze it. So how you are going to analyze it? You have to analyze this in 3 dimensions. So I'll try to illustrate that. So suppose this is Ml2AB type of a complex. So what happens here? This ligand and this ligand, both of these are different. This one and this one are same. So what happens? I pass a plane through this, right? These two different ligands and metal. So plane is passing through these two different ligands. So what happens if plane is passing through these two ligands? What happens? This one and this one will reflect each other. This is what I have done. This A, this red one is this. Okay, this B, this blue one is this, and these two ligands L and L are this and this. So what I'm doing is I'm passing a plane through M, A and B, M, A and B, like this. Okay, so this one and this one will reflect each other. I hope this part is clear. So similarly in case of ML2, in case of ML2A2 also you can find out plane of symmetry like this. So what you can do is you can pass a plane from this one also and this one also. This is not basically the correct way to show this. You can show it like this also. Right, so you can pass a plane like this also, right? So these two will reflect, or you can pass a plane through this also, then these two will reflect, right? So POS is present in these cases also. So if POS is present, then compound is optically inactive, right? So these are the cases for tetrahedral complexes, right? We have studied all the cases: ML4, ML3A, ML2AB, ML2A2, and there is last one more case, MLABC. That is the case where all the four ligands are different. So what is going to happen there is MLABC. So all the four ligands are different, so you cannot pass a plane, right? And POS will be absent here, right? You cannot pass a plane through which the two of the ligands are going to reflect each other. There is no such possibility. So what happens here? POS is absent, so it will show two enantiomers, and definitely if POS is absent, then the compound is optically active. Okay, amongst the tetrahedral complexes, this is the only compound we have found here which is optically active and showing two enantiomers, right? So these are the various cases of tetrahedral complexes having unidentate ligands, right? So far we have studied the complexes ML4, which is optically inactive, ML3A, it is also optically inactive, ML2AB, ML2A2. These all are optically inactive, right? These are optically inactive compounds. All of them are having plane of symmetry. All of them are having plane of symmetry, so the compound is optically inactive, right? They're not having any enantiomeric pairs, right? This is one more thing, that is, there are no enantiomeric pairs, right? There are no enantiomers present here. So this is the only compound so far which we have found which is having plane of symmetry, showing two enantiomers, and is optically active, right? So I think this video is going very long, so in the next video what we are going to do is we will study this second case, coordination number 4 complexes, tetrahedral complexes having bidentate ligands. What will be the geometrical and optical isomers in those cases, right? So we have studied optical isomerism and geometrical isomerism here, and here what we have found in case of tetrahedral complexes having unidentate ligands, geometrical isomerism is not possible here, right? Because angle is not changing. If angle is not changing, there is no possibility of geometrical isomerism. And we have studied the optical isomerism, and what we have found is that amongst all the possibilities, what we have found is that these are the complexes, tetrahedral complexes having unidentate ligands. These are the complexes which are optically inactive, where plane of symmetry is present and having no enantiomeric pairs. We now know what is enantiomer, right? And this is the only compound till now which we have found having plane of symmetry absent, showing enantiomers, and is optically active. So in the next video we'll study about tetrahedral complexes having bidentate ligands. So far that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.